Welcome back, brothers, to yet another show here on the Oshay Vlogcast channel. I am your humble host, Oshay Duke Jackson, and today, for the second time in like almost 2 months, we have a very, very, very talented guest who really needs no introduction, but I'm gonna give him introduction any damn way because I got to. He came on about 2 months ago, I believe, something like that, around 6 weeks ago. Guy that I've been following for a long time. You guys know I'm a big time supporter of Aaron Clary. Aaron Clary told me about this gentleman. You guys know I used to promote his book, The Black Man's Guide to Poverty. And he says, man, this is the big brother that we never had. And guys, he's just such a talented, smart, many things that we could talk about today. That's the one and only Glendon Cameron from the Hustlers Kung Fu channel. Many of you have been seeing his new channel, Disruptive Male, which handles really great red pill kind of content for black men and men in general. And I'm just glad to have him back on the show today. And today we're talking about black men and money, start a business on the side, and much more. What's going on, Glendon?
Hey, what's going on? Thanks for that introduction. Appreciate it. Yeah. Today, we're just going to get into the meat of it.
Okay.
What I'm going to talk about is how you can get more money in your life. And we're going to start with some very simple stuff. All right. First of all, you're going to need to keep $400 to $500 in your wallet at all times. Right now, you can't spend it. You can't spend it. Okay. So you got that. And let's see, I think 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. All right. I'm actually double that. So I can spend 4. You always want to keep money on you. Always. And you have a limit. I don't care what happens. You just don't spend it. If that means you got to go out and sell some, that's better than spending your last dollar. All right. And the next thing you need to do, you need to get a credit card, one of these, and you want to have absolutely nothing on it. You got people out there telling you that you need to keep 10% on. That's bullshit. You want a credit card with absolutely nothing on it. And then you want a checking account. And we're going to talk about checking with at least $1,000 to $10,000 in it. Now, one of the things you want to do is develop the habit of holding on to money. This is how people who win the lottery, athletes who make these big salaries, get in trouble. They take their bad money management habits to that big money. So this is something that you can do right now. I don't care how broke you are. I don't care how poor you are. Just adjust the levels to your income and develop the habit of holding on to money. Years ago, I didn't know how to do this stuff. I used to be the guy that would pawn CDs. This is a long time ago. Columbia House, where they would send you all these CDs. Well, you used to be able to take CDs to the pawn shop, games to the pawn shop. And I was always in this position where I didn't have any money. And I remember it was 2 weeks to payday, just paid rent, bought groceries, and I had $5 in an empty gas tank. So I had to take my CD collection, which was like at 400 CDs at that point, because I was really into music, take it to the pawn shop, and I got like $400. Got in trouble next month and ended up losing my CDs. And I said, once I got my head right and, going through this whole divorce thing, being homeless and everything, I have been in situations where I've just had no money, none. And I made a promise to myself when I got my first good job that I was never, ever going to be broke again. And this is where a lot of these habits have come from, because money management is not about how much money you have coming in. Let me say that again. Money management is not about how much money you have coming in. Mm-hmm. It's about the management of what you have. Because if you have bad money management habits with your current income, I don't care if you times it times 20. These same habits are going to creep into that new money, and you're going to be in the situation where you're going to be broke. I'm disgusted with football players and baseball players and basketball players who make millions of dollars a year, but because they're listening to bad advice, they're getting mortgages, They're doing car loans. You're making $2-3 million a year and you getting a car loan. That makes no sense whatsoever. One of my rules, if you make $150,000 a year, you shouldn't have a car payment, or it should be for 6 months to a year only, because you lose so much money with interest and all these other things. All right. So that's the first step to creating more money in your life. You got to learn how to hold on to money and to manage money. I was going to try to do screen share, but that didn't work out. So I'm going to have to explain it. Okay. Now, the next thing you need to do is go to your credit union, because you can probably get more checking accounts there for more bang for your buck. Or if you don't have a credit union, go to the bank. And I want you to open up 4 to 5 checking accounts. Once again, yes, 4 to 5 checking accounts, personal checking accounts. And your first checking account is going to be your operating account. Your second checking account is going to be your expense account. Your third checking account is going to be investment. Your fourth is going to be savings. And if you do eBay or something, then you're going to have a fifth account, which will be your merchant account. I want you to put 95% of your income in your operating account and take the other 5% and spread it out amongst these other accounts. And each month, your goal is to add 5% to these additional accounts, just 5%. Spread out across these other 4 accounts. Because if you go in and you try to like put 50% in your operating account, and then you're going to rob Peter to pay Paul, because you're not used to managing your money this way. But within about 6 months to a year, you're going to get it. And it's going to be like, you're going to put 80% of your money in your operating account. Then you're going to start putting the other 20% in these other accounts. And what's going to happen in a year, maybe a year and a half, you're going to have hundreds, if not thousands of dollars in these other accounts that you are like, wow, I got money all the time. One of the things I did on my old channel was I said, I created this challenge. It's like, I want you to save as much money as you can in a savings account by starting with $5 a week. Because once again, I know you might be able to throw $100 in there. But if you do that and then you start backsliding, you have to go in your account, pull money out to handle life, you're going to feel bad and you're going to stop doing it. This is why you got to keep these limits really, really low and then scale them up over time. I had someone who did this, and 2 years later, they had $50,000 in there spread across those 4 accounts with an income of $95,000 a year. Because typically you're not managing your money. Your money is managing you. And as long as your money's managing you, you're going to have a lot of problems. You're going to be in a situation where you're always chasing the next dollar. You're never going to have a position where you can kind of relax and survey your next move, because you got to hit it, got to hit it, got to hit it. Now, this is the first thing that you should do before you start a business, before you start a side hustle, because once you do this, then you prep the runway for more income. Because once you learn how to manage whatever you make now, then when you start making more money, then those other accounts will start filling up like crazy, because you are managing your money. Now, the second step is to create a side hustle based upon something you already know how to do. You get many people out here, they'll see that, hey, this looks like a good thing, or hey, that looks like a good thing, right? Wrong. Use whatever skill sets, whatever knowledge base, whatever resources you have, and use that to make money while maybe you're learning something else on the side, but you want to go with the least path of resistance. Mm-hmm. If you like work at a tire shop and they just like give you tires, you can sell those on Craigslist. If you live in a nice neighborhood, you can literally knock on doors. Hey, this is your neighbor, Carl. You got anything you don't want? And I'll take it. If you do that, you can hustle up $1,000 to $1,500 worth of stuff every month, just knocking on doors in your neighborhood, getting to know people and solving problems. You got any trash? Anything. Now, once you get this going, then you go to the bank, you create an LLC. Yes, you create an LLC. Then you open up business accounts and you do the same thing. Operating account, expense account, savings account, investment account, merchant account. And then you start putting that money in those accounts in the same way. First, you put 95% of the money in the operating account. Then the other 5% is spread out amongst these other accounts. Then you increase the accounts. Then you increase what you're doing. You increase all of these things, because when you start that business and when you really get to rolling, you will be amazed at your results, because you've already solved the biggest problem that most people have: how to handle money. Your money will start stacking. I mean, and this is the thing. We're not talking about you making thousands of dollars a month. You get you a good side hustle. Well, first you handle the money you already have. Then you get you a good side hustle. Let's say $2 to $3 grand. That can literally change your life. Pay off your student loans, pay off your credit card bills, and get yourself in a solid financial footing where you can do something bigger. So that's just the skinny on what people need to do, because so many people want to make more money, but they're going to keep their bad money habits, which will infect the new money. And this is how you have someone like I forget his name, Penny Hardaway. I don't know if it was Penny, but it was one of those basketball players, Anton Walker, $110 million, and he's broke.
Right.
That makes no sense. If he had taken $10 million out of that 110 and put it somewhere in an annuity, he'd be getting like $1 million a year.
Right.
I mean, it's just crazy, because one of the things with handling money is we as black men, we got a serious position in these United States of America. You do this stuff.
Say it again. They may have missed that. Say it again.
Yeah, we as black men in America, we occupy a very special place in the world.
Okay.
If you are a black man with money, the intellect on how to handle that money, the world is your oyster. I mean, I don't really look that good. You know, I'm what, on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm like a 4. The chicks that I be banging, I'm telling you, the money, because see, the money gives you the attitude. It ain't the money, it's the attitude. Because when you do a deal and you make more money in 1 month than most people make in a year, that changes you, and it carries over when you start dealing with these chicks. I got a situation right now that's comical, but I ain't gonna change the show. I'm not gonna change the show.
We can talk about it a little bit later. Okay. Let me read off some of the brothers who have super chat. I really thank you guys. I know you guys missed me on this channel. We're back. We have 107 watching right now in the first 13 minutes. Guys, let's do me a favor. Get the likes up. I did schedule this a little earlier. I want to just read out some of the super chats because you guys been missing me for about 4 days over here. TJ out of Britain. Let's start this right. Thank you, brother, for the 489 super chat. Rashad Reed, trick it in the chat. Get the likes up. Marcus, the realist. Does chitlin juice prevent muscle cramps? Asking for a friend.
Damn.
$4.99. That nigga really paid that amount of money to say that shit. Okay. JL Edwards, college student. What's up to the hustle? Thank you so much, brother. $2. Eric P. What up, Caesar? Great to see you streaming on this channel again. Thank you so much. And One Mark DC, great video. This brother is on point. Now, let me just do this, guys. I want to talk to you a little bit. I know we're talking about credit card debt very briefly. And credit card bills. A lot of us fall victim to credit card and paying an interest payment every month. But you made a statement about, I don't know if it was maxing the whole balance or keeping the balance all the way 100% free. Can you explain what you meant by that?
Sure. What I mean is you treat this credit card like a debit card, except you pay it off every week. This one card you have, you use it for everything. Also, if your credit's good enough, you want to get a rewards card and use that for everything that you're doing, because what's going to happen is, let me just start from the beginning, because I've been talking to a friend. I need to make this really simple. It's not because y'all are stupid. It's just in my mind, I got these steps and I'd be skipping over stuff. So one, get you a good credit card. That's a rewards card. I don't care if it's got like a $1,500 limit, $2,000, whatever. Use that card to pay your cell phone bill, get gas, get lunch. The average person can probably spend anywhere from $800 to $1,500 on this card every month, paying your cell phone bill, whatever, getting groceries, whatever you do. And then at the end of the week, I do this kind of daily, but at the end of the week, you go in there and you look at the credit card bill, and then you transfer that money from your checking account to that credit card every week. Because last year I spent about $200K on that card and I didn't pay one lick of interest.
Wait a minute. Did you say $200,000?
Yeah.
Okay, $200,000 on a.
Well, this was a lot of business spend. Let me explain that.
Okay.
How many of you advertise? I was buying AdSense. I spent like $10K a month on AdSense. I opened up a new office that was buying the furniture and stuff. So that's one of the reasons.
Okay.
That's not normal spending. That's not normal spending.
Okay. Let's talk about the rewards again. Because do some credit cards do some of them, do you know any credit cards that do come with a reward system? And also, I guess some people will say, well, what if the interest rates are too high? My credit is too bad and I have like a 20% interest rate, stuff like that. What would you say to that question?
Okay. Let's say your credit's tore up.
Okay.
First thing we work on is repairing your credit, because it's going to be necessary for you to get a rewards card. I'll give you some of that, like Chase Sapphire rewards. Virtually any American Express product has rewards. Mm-hmm. Yeah, everything American Express has rewards. I would stay away from, like, you got Chase, Wells Fargo's rewards are kind of funky, but try to get yourself a Chase card, Capital One card, mm-hmm. or Chase, Capital One, American Express, something like that. Just get your foot in the door.
Okay.
Now, if your credit is messed up, then you got to fix your credit. Now, here's something else that a lot of people kind of debate. If you know somebody with good credit, okay, ask them to do this. It's like, look, and this is the pitch, because at first they're like, they ain't gonna want to put you on their card because they think you're gonna run up their card. You don't need the card for this to help you. Mm-hmm. Find somebody, preferably an uncle, somebody who's good credit, and say, look, Unc, I want you to do me this solid. Now, first of all, I want you to put me on your credit card, but I don't need the credit card. You don't have to give it to me. I need you to give me your oldest credit card with good payment history, and I want you to make me an authorized user. Because I did this for my daughter. She had no credit score. In 6 months, she went to a 750. Okay. One credit card, just one. So if you know someone with good credit, pitch them like this. And you need to be an authorized user. Now, she got an American Express. She got a Chase after 6 months. But my credit history on that card went back 10 years. Okay. So she inherited that credit history. So that's the thing is, what you want to do is add new credit and fix your old credit. Because if you fix your old credit, that will help your credit profile, but it's going to be slow. It's going to be very slow. So you want to add at least 2 to 5 new trade lines.
Okay. Let me ask you about, certain interest rates.
Okay.
What's your take on, because some brothers will say, well, okay, fixing my credit, but I got offered a credit card. It's like 25% interest, 15% interest, $500 balance. Should I just take it right now? Or?
Yeah, interest rate don't matter, because you're going to be paying this off every month in full. You're not ever going to carry a balance long, because you can technically carry a balance for about 60 days or 30 days, depending on how the credit card cycle cuts. So you could carry a balance for 30 days, but on the 29th day, you pay it off in full. You pay no interest. But if your statement cuts, then you're going to have to pay interest if you still have that balance.
That's what that means. Okay, I understand that. I didn't know that. Okay.
Okay. All right. Yeah, because it's all about your statement date. My statement date, because I know it is like the 19th of any month.
Okay.
So if I got any balance on that, I just in the habit of on the 19th, I go ahead and pay it all off, because technically, since I don't keep a balance on this card, let's say the 19th comes and I have like 3,000, 4,000 on that. If I pay that before the 18th, I'm good. But if I let it hit on the 19th or let the statement cut, then they're going to get me with interest.
Okay.
That's a lot. That's how a lot of these Amazon FBA sellers do. They'll go out and buy inventory on the credit card, the day after the statement cuts. So then they got this 30, well, almost a 60-day interest-free loan.
Okay, I understand. Let me just do this real quick. I want to shout out some people, and then let's go over some other things you want to talk about. Chris McNary, this is awesome. Yes, it is. $2. Rugged Collars. So glad to see you, Trailblazing brothers, supporting each other. Glendon, I will be over there supporting as well. Just getting up on Oshay. Keep it real. Thank you so much, brother. Freelance Ronin. Great subject, bro. Keep on pushing. And guys, I forgot to put Hustlers Kung Fu's YouTube channel in the description. I'm gonna do that right now, but let's go back and let him keep speaking on what he wanted to talk about as far as the topic, and I'll go ahead and make sure we get everybody to subscribe to him. So go ahead, Glendon.
All right, so I'll go in here and look for some questions. How old was your daughter when you started? She was 18. Don't let the cousin. Marty W. Most reward cards go about 18 to 22% interest. Let's talk about that.
Okay.
Your interest is dependent upon your credit score. Now, here's some that the banks and stuff don't want you to know. If you got like a credit score of 680, there's not a lot of difference in terms of the interest rate that you're going to get at 680 up to 720. You're going to get the same interest rate. Okay. To get the best interest rates, you need to be at 750 or above. You need to be 7, because the thing is, you're going to apply for the credit card, then it's going to lower your credit score. So you need to be rocking like a 762, 775, and you're going to get the absolute best interest rates at that credit score. But 720 and like 680, 720, you're going to get moderate interest rates. And there's something else too. If you're a good customer, you can call them up and say, look, I have been with y'all like 6 years and I've never been late. I want you to lower my interest rate. I'm gone. And often they will send you to the retention department, and if they can lower it, they'll lower it.
Okay. Here's what I want to talk to you about this. You talked about the side hustle thing.
Okay.
And you made a video I just saw on your channel 4 years ago. What is the best side hustle? So what if this is a guy saying, well, okay, because you said people will come to YouTube and say, oh my God, well, YouTube's a side hustle. Let me start a YouTube channel to make money. And then they don't. Why do you think so many people fail at these side hustle things or side hustle incomes?
It goes back to what I was saying. They're trying to learn something new, become good at it, and make money. So you're trying to do 3 different things at the same time. That's why I always say, start off with something you know. Say you're an auto mechanic, right? Mm-hmm. You have a knowledge of tools. Anyone that's an auto mechanic or turns wrenches knows that Mac tools are expensive. Snap-on tools are expensive. So take what you already know and use that to make money versus learning something new, which is very, very frustrating, because a lot of people on my channel, Disruptive Male, they talk about like, hey, I'm going to start a dating channel. I was like, please do. Send me the link when you do. I'm going to subscribe, because it ain't as easy as you think it is. And a lot of them, everyone's been making this challenge. I'm going to start a channel. They don't do it because it's hard. It's hard. So you got that. So that's one of the things. Another reason is hustler porn. You have all these people online who tell you that you can make money very easily. I'm going to tell you, they're lying to you. They're lying to you. You know what was really hard for me?
Right.
0 to 100K. My first 100K, that was hard. Then the next thing, because you have some people's like, yeah, you make the 100K, then 100K to $1 million is like super easy. Bull fucking shit. You know how fucking hard it is to make $1 million in 1 year? Put it this way. Only 5% of the country does that. And then when you go to multiple millions, then you're down to like 1%. Mm-hmm. No, actually, you're down to point something percent. Because once again, like I asked someone how much you think the average salary was, and everybody always goes up. Oh, 60,000, 75,000. I was like, no, half of America's poor. Half of America makes less than $40,000 a year. And if you don't know how many people are in the United States, that's like 170 million people that make less than 40 grand a year.
Damn.
Then you move it up to 50. Same, the numbers still pretty dark. And you move it up to 150K. 90% of the people in this country don't make 150K, like about 98, 92%.
Okay.
So that's when I hear all this tricking off and all these ballers and stuff. I'm like, where they at? Where they at? They're not here. Where they at?
Right.
So you got that situation going on.
Let me ask you this, because obviously you're a person that on the first interview that we had, you talked about some very personal things in the case that you're married, divorced, homeless, and then you started to kind of find yourself, and you where you are now. A lot of black men maybe a little afraid to hey, I got a job, starting a side business, how to it's kind of I don't know if it's a risky. I heard 95% of all businesses fail. There's other things. What's the right environment? Where can I get help? What would you tell a brother who he hears all these things? 90% of businesses fail. There's a lot of success. Not much success in these things if you try it and things like that. So, what would you tell a brother that has these type of questions about what it's most likely to fail? So why should I put my energy into it?
Oh, that's a really good question. Now that number is 98% of businesses fail in the first 5 years. Kind of going back to some of the stuff that we talked about. Okay. Start a business doing something you know about, because once again, you get these people, and I'm going to give you a good case study.
Okay.
They have to learn something new. They have to do it, and they have to make money. This girl I sold some office furniture to many years ago. She had got a loan. She was, I think she was an architect or something. Okay. And she got like $1 million loan. So she had spent $30,000 on office furniture. She had rented this real nice office. She had hired people, and she was a great architect. She sucked ass as a salesperson, and that business went out of business in 18 months.
Damn.
This is what happens. You got people who get into businesses and they do not want to learn how to sell. And they just think that magically that business is just going to come in. People are going to refer them. No. Typically, I had a lot of sales training.
Okay.
And when I came on YouTube, I made mistake after mistake after mistake after mistake. I had people who had better YouTube presentation than I did. I had people who were better situated than I were. And I crushed all of them because I knew how to sell.
Okay.
Selling is one of the most important things that you can do for yourself and your business, because every business needs somebody to sell that stuff. Every business.
Okay.
Apple has all these people in their stores who are taught how to sell you stuff.
Okay.
So that's why they don't know how to sell.
So let's talk about this, because obviously you teach these things, right? And even myself, like with the negromanosphere.com, that's something that we need to start doing, as far as I was talking to you earlier with my comic and some of the things that we need to do. So that's something that we're gonna move towards it to sustain viability for the future. But what if you don't know how to sell? I mean, these are guys, some of these guys come from certain different backgrounds that are non-sales related. Guys have experience in, certain things, but they don't know how to sell. And that's going to be important for black men in the future.
Very much so.
How can they learn how to do this? And let's shift the focus towards what you do as well. They want to start a business, learn how to sell, learn how to push their product to their particular niche or demographic. Let's talk how they can learn how to do this and be efficient, or where they can get the help to do that at.
All right. First thing you need to do, get a commission sales job. Now, if you got a job, keep your job and go over here and find yourself a good commission sales job. Because what it's going to do is it's going to force you to learn how to sell, because they'll hire anybody because they ain't paying you anything. So they ain't going to call. Well, that's not true. The better commission sales jobs will not hire you if you don't have any experience. Okay. So you get this job, then you go to your friend Google and you start consuming all of this sales training that's online for free. You start with Daniel Pink. You start with actually, let me just go ahead and do this because I know people are going to be asking. Like, hold on. Let me just go to Amazon.
Okay.
And put this in here real quick. Well, let's see. I can't actually share anything. All right. Well, Daniel Pink. Go to Amazon. He's easy to find. Early Tony Robbins stuff, like the Unlimited Power from the 90s, and Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field. Earl Nightingale, Lead the Field. And just get those 3 books, consume them, and then take what you learn and go out and do it. This is one of the things that we have. We have a lot of people who are very good students. They know how to study, they know how to take notes, but they don't know how to go out and execute. You got people who are professional students online. I got folks who buy all of my courses and they don't execute. And then I'll get someone who comes on brand new, don't have a lot of money. They'll get a course and they'll go to town on it. And like, I get this email like, gee, I made $5,000 this month. Man, I ain't never made no $5,000. Thank you. You know, I get those kind of emails,
right.
But I don't get them from the people who don't execute. So the excuse of, you don't have to sell, that's fine. But there are so many resources which are free that you can wrap your arms around. But the thing is, you got to be self-motivated to study, and you have to be even more motivated to go out and do it. So that's what I would advise those people to do.
Okay. Guys, do me a favor. We have 160 people watching right now, okay? In the first 32 minutes, guys, do me a favor. Go to the description. I want you to describe the Hustlers Kung Fu channel, okay? And 2 things I need you to do. Go ahead and like the video, right? I know you guys are glad that we're back live streaming on the channel. The viewers are going up right now. It's really great content. Go into the description and hit the subscribe button. There's his link. Hit the bell. He does do lives quite often. And also, guys, for those people who want to support the stream with the super chat, you guys know how we do that here. Hit the super chat, ask a question to Glendon if you would like to do so. I bought a course from him. Many people, I think the first time he came on, I sold about, how many courses did you sell? About
I did about $3,000.
$3,000?
Yeah.
Shit. Okay, y'all got money. Y'all better at least put $2 in this damn super chat. Okay. You niggas got it. All right. So, let's talk about, just on a sidebar, because you're very concerned. I mean, although you have great success and you have people like Aaron Clary, Aaron Clary is a very popular, writer, really is a more so like has a wide audience. But he even refers you. And you have you don't have to make the content that you're doing for Black men, because people respect you of all races and genres. But we do understand that we have a great deal of African-American men, that's at least a $500 or $600 billion spending power. They are in comparisons to other countries considered to be, more wealthy or more rich. What can Black men do, you think, to increase their spending power collectively as a group, to start more businesses, to to kind of take over more of the economy? Where do you see Black men fitting into the next 5 to 10 years when it comes to infrastructure in America or abroad and things like that?
All right, this is going to be very controversial.
Okay.
One of the things that I did when I started was I forgot that I was Black. I know it's going to sound a little crazy, but bear out with me, because my first 5 years on YouTube, 95% of my customers were white.
Okay.
Black folks were not in the resale. When I was out on the storage auction trail, there was literally, about the last 2 years, there was a lot more, but my first 7 years, there was like 4 of us out there. Me, Dave Spivey, Michael Wise. There was literally 4 of us out there who were spending on a certain kind of level. So forget that you're Black, and you will give yourself a gift, because you won't say, well, they won't buy from me because I'm Black. No, you ain't Black. You're a businessman. Mm-hmm. And then you go out and create the best products you can. You create the best service you can, and you will be surprised, because I got some very different views. I'm like, I have lived this life where I have sold my biggest deal, and it wasn't just me. I had a company behind me, but my biggest deal was $3.2 million, and there was 4 salesmen on the deal, but I was the lead salesman, and I closed it. That was my biggest deal, and these were white people, and they bought from me with my black face. So when I hear this stuff, they ain't gonna buy from me because I'm black. That's bullshit. Cut the excuses and grow the fuck up, because that's a crutch. Because I had this thing, and this is on Disruptive Male. Like, if you want a woman, you should write down your ideal concept of the woman you want in your life. And one of my commenters made a good point. He said a lot of people won't do it because they don't want to put in the work to become the dude to get that woman. And it's the same principle with business, because business gonna put some hair on your chest. I mean, there's so many things that's gonna happen, things that you can't expect, things you don't even know about. But if you can weather that, and you just get your income to like 200K gross, not net, but gross, your life is going to change. And more importantly, your children's life is going to change. So just get busy and forget that you're black, and you will be reminded. You will be reminded, and just like, and keep going, because none of us faced the racism that our great grandfathers and mothers dealt with, or even our grandparents, or even our mom and dad. Yes, there's racism out here. Yes, there's some racist white folks, but guess what? Most of those white folks who are racist are broke. That's why they're really racist now. Yeah. You think Trump came into office because all these folks were living fat, happy lives? They are struggling.
Yes.
We have a bunch of white folks who are being treated like niggers now, and they're revolting. They're like, well, fuck. No wonder the blackies are mad. This ain't good. Fuck this. Ow.
Oh shit.
So that's is why they coming out, because if you look at the demographics and you look at the income, most of these motherfuckers are poor. And that's when they see a black person who's doing well. Oh, fuck no. It must be affirmative action.
Right.
It must be a special government loan. Well, you know, and I had people come to me on YouTube. I said, no, this is free market, baby. I'm competing. You can't. Get over it. And that's why you got to get out here and compete in the free market. Like a lot of people ask me about nonprofits. I don't know shit about nonprofits.
Okay.
Because I ain't even in that lane. I know nothing about it. I'm out here in the private sector. I'm out here fighting dragons, making money, because one of the things is, and not to get too political, but since so many of us grew up in single mother households, a lot of us just don't know how to fight the way that we should. And I'll give you an example.
Okay.
One of my friends, he was a little dude. His name was Eric, and he had this bully, and the bully kept picking on him, and he wouldn't fight back. Eric's dad went to the bully's house. Hey, have Harold bring his fat ass to my yard. You come too. And he put gloves on Eric and Harold, and they out there fighting. And he's like, every time you pick on him, you're going to have to come here and you're going to have to fight. To this day, Eric and Harold are some of the best friends, because men got those lessons that you got to fight or you got to make peace. And sometimes you need to get your ass kicked. Sometimes you kick ass, but most times you need to make peace. Women don't get these lessons, which is why they're all crazy and shit. They don't get these lessons. This is why you got women jumping up in dudes' face like, I slapped you. You can't hit me because I'm a girl. Oh shit! I ain't a girl. I'm a girl. You know, he didn't know that. He ain't respecting your positional leadership on that.
No, that's true. You know, you gave me some content to kind of go for a few other questions, and I like doing podcasts with people who are podcast heavy. I want to give a shout out to Claire in Kampala, Uganda, because she told me that she's watching this from work. So we have people from Africa watching this right now. So shout out to her.
What up, Claire?
What up, Claire? Let me just do shout out some people here real quick. My man Pedro, the IT Mon, appreciate the content guys out of Canada. Thank you for the $10 Canadian. Aunt James, Glendon is the truth when it comes to business. You damn sure right he is. My boy Brendan Sanders, $5. Hey guys, I really thank you guys for what you've been doing. Do me a favor though. Let's get the people to subscribe to Glendon Cameron right here. Nana Sarpong, I'm watching from Ghana. All right. Thank you so much, Ghana. And do me a favor, let's get the likes up on the video. And I've put his channel also in the description and in the comment section so you can subscribe to him and hit the like button. All right, subscribe button, hit the bell on his channel. Let me also do this. You talked about black men in business and the product is good and make sure the service is good. That is like really what caught my ear. And I want to just ask you a question.
Okay.
I want to ask you a question to get your opinion on this. What I've noticed is in black YouTube, guys who have businesses, guys who have products, even outside of YouTube, they're very unprofessional. Especially some of our black men in this, space, right? When you go to the white manosphere, they don't talk at you; they talk to you. Like Sandman, like for MGTOW or some of the other guys, Turfing the Monkey, they don't talk down to their audience like they're a bunch of bitches.
Right.
What I've noticed with black men who do business with other black men or have other black men YouTube channels, it's always from the position of, oh, well, I'm telling you this because you guys are, you don't really understand what you're talking about. Like you cleared yourself up real quick. You said, well, I don't want to talk to you guys. Like, I don't know what like, you don't know what you're talking about, but I just want to make sure I explain it better. Usually what I hear when black men do business, especially with black people or black men, they treat the white customer much different than the black customer. They talk to the black customer like he's stupid, like he's not shit.
No, we hoes. It's the pimp hoe game.
Yeah, they talk to black men, and that's why I think my channel does so well, and Alpha Male Strategies does so well too. We don't talk at people. We talk to them. We talk to them as if they're equals. But a lot of time when black men deal with other black men, there's a subconscious idea like, you niggas are stupid, you're dumb, but you need to go ahead and support me anyway. And if you don't support me, you guys don't support black businesses because you niggas are lazy. Am I right about that?
No, that's positional leadership. You should be glad that I have this business for y'all. There ain't no other black people. That's bullshit. Everybody's dollar is the same. Whether it's a black dollar, it's a white person's dollar, and everybody needs to be treated with a certain level of respect. And part of, one of my things is, I got like a PhD helping me create better content because my thing is I make assumptions, right, that I shouldn't make. And I think people already know stuff, but they don't. And I have to be clear and have to work with them. And another thing, why black men really need to get into businesses, how many black quarterbacks are in the NFL right now? There's a bunch of them. There's like 10 or 12 of them, right? As a black man, and this is going to sound really messed up, okay, but we were bred for excellence. When they would get this big mandingo from this tribe and made him with someone from the Aruba tribe, they were trying to create better Africans. Okay. And they did. Mark my words, in the next 10 years, if not all the quarterbacks in the NFL are black, most of them will be. So what we're already disposed to, if we try, is for greatness. So if you start a business and you go at that business like you go after basketball or football or baseball or something, because those kind of pursuits are socially supported. If you're good in the basketball in the black community, everybody giving you dabs, everybody supporting you because that's cool. That's cool, right? But hey, yeah, I'm trying to start a consulting business. Mm-hmm. Oh, really? Well, all right. Hope that go work out for you. I'm about to go watch this basketball game. I mean, that's got to change, man. That's got to change. We, as a community, send some very mixed signals. It's like, yeah, that's good. Like, I did a video on this dude that took his mom to the prom, and there was a lot of divisions. My side was he shouldn't have did it. She shouldn't have gone because I think there's some creepy stuff going on there. But that aside, that got more attention and more props than a kid getting the 1600 on the SAT. That got more props and attention than the kid who got all his college choices. We support fuckery. I mean, it's just amazing. Someone comes out of jail, block party, DJ, flowing booze. Someone graduates with honors. Well, good for you. I'm going to this barbecue. So we send these very mixed messages, and the kids play into them. Mm-hmm. And that's one of the dangers. But if you as a black man get into your excellence, you're going to dominate. And that's what really scares a lot of people, because the video I put on Disruptive Mail this morning, I told this story. I was working with this company, and there was this racist woman named Marilyn. But I was so good at my job that when I left, this racist bitch sent me her resume. Yeah, I mean, it still messes with me because she was racist. No doubt about it. But white people will put their racism aside for economics. So if you're listening, that means you get to get your economics up. And this ain't going to prevent all racism, but it's going to cut down on that shit tremendously. Tremendously. So that's one of the reasons that, if nothing else, why you need to get your economics up and get your money up and get your business up, because you will be treated differently. You will. And there's a lot of people who's like, you're black. I don't care what you do. You're always going to be treated this way. It ain't true. It ain't true. And I think there's a lot of black folks who are in my position who won't say anything because they're going to get beat up by the black community.
Okay.
But I don't care.
You give it, I know, Glendon, you're a very busy guy, man, but we need to knock some more of these out because you're very podcast heavy, and it's easy for me to build questions based off of, you say so many great things. So you're gonna have to come by here, man, more often, dog. You're gonna have to come through. Because we got 216 people watching during the work time right now. So just imagine if this was like after 6. So it'd probably be like more people. So guys, do me a favor. 216 people watching right now. Continue with the likes, guys. This is what I want to talk to you about also.
Okay.
Right now there's a situation with the Root. And the Root is like anti-black male, what they're saying. We'll probably do a stream on it later on tonight. But what I hear is a lot of black men, and there's a lot of black women on YouTube. I know you did a response video to a video that BGS did. It was removed, and he was talking about a certain female YouTuber. That was
a great video. I don't know why I got removed, but that was a great video because he told no lies.
Yeah, it was a very good video. I watched it. I'm subscribed to BGS. But here's my position. A lot of guys, my thing is this. They get so focused on what black women are saying about them. They get so emotional about what is being said about them by certain, groups of people, and not necessarily focusing that energy and attention on, the business. And I'm not like a great business person like you. I've just had some success in this last year and a half. But what I found out is the business owns you. You don't really own it. It consumes. It consumes you.
Yes. Yes. It's kind of like having kids.
What'd you say?
It's like having kids.
Yes.
They actually run you. You don't run the kids until a certain age. They run you, and that's kind of like your business.
Exactly. The thing is that I found out is, when I'm focusing on like the school or this, I don't have, the mental wheels that are turning in my head all the time and crunching the budgets and managing the product. Like when you came on, I was trying to get this guy to do the video right for the Brazil trip I did. And I think a lot of brothers get so caught up in things that it doesn't matter. Do you think that black men are spending too much time worrying about what people are saying about them, especially black women and certain black women, and not necessarily just focusing on what they should be doing with their business and just worrying about that and letting it all sort itself out?
I'm going to answer this like that.
Okay.
One of the things I had to do to be successful was to separate from my family. Mm-hmm. Many of us were groomed to seek that approval. So this is something that happened in your formative years. So you're like a 42-year-old dude, and you're still seeking that approval because that's what's the way that you were raised. My break from tradition was I was 32 years old. I was homeless. I was living in the boarding house. And I had just reached this point where I was ready to take action. And I remember I was in the bathroom mirror and I was looking at myself and I was like, you got to let this shit go. You got to let this shit go. I mean, because many of us are being held back because we're spending 10 to 15 years trying to figure ourselves out while other groups are just going out because they don't have to figure themselves out.
Okay.
I think one of the most destructive things that you can do to a child is to have this child for selfish reasons and not have this child to make the world a better place, because a lot of women have kids because they just want something to love, which isn't bad, but it's harmful for the child because, it's like once the child reaches a certain age, mom ain't that interested anymore, usually at 10, 13. And that's typically where the father would come in because, it's kids with fathers talk to their fathers until the dad die. And they need mom from maybe 0 to 7, 8, but dads are around for decades.
Yeah.
And you got a lot of people who don't have that. And it's like, for me, I grew up in a weird situation. My grandmother was like my mother, stay at home. She was retired. So I didn't go to daycare. My grandmother taught me to read before I went to school. She died when I was 11, but I had enough of a 2-parent household to get all that stuff. Security. I didn't move until I left the house to join the military. I was 18. So I got a lot of stuff in my formative years that a lot of people, men and women, don't get. And what's so crazy is this stuff that you get when you're 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. It really shows up when you're 30 and 40 and 50, whether you got it or you didn't get it. It's like, whoa. And that's a whole nother conversation. But essentially, to get back on your point, the dudes are doing what they were raised to do. And if they want to be successful, they're going to have to divorce themselves from their upbringing, which is very hard. I had some backsliding, but I was like, I got to do this because especially, and this is why I created my channel, Disruptive Male. Everything that I was taught as a young man with dealing with women was fundamentally fucking false. It was fundamentally false because I would do what I was taught and it wouldn't work. Then I would start doing this stuff that I was taught was bad and it worked like a motherfucker. And I was like, did they trick me? Did they set me up for failure? And what happens is when you're dealing with a single mother, she's going to raise you to occupy the space of the man she needs at that moment, which is a secure person, a provider, someone to be there. That's not necessarily the same motherfucker that she would fuck. So they're training you to be someone that they would not be interested in because their needs at that moment are about security. But that's not the dude they would fuck. And that's how they're raising all these young men. And that's why all these young men have these problems with women. You all right, Oshay?
Hey, man, you described my mama to the T, man. Let me just stop the show real quick because you got my bladder hurting, man, when you said that. We have a very good, a very esteemed person in the chat, man. And you know him also, right? You've been knowing him before. We got 2 esteemed guests. Number 1, my man, Ram Leotis Sabaticus Wheels. Okay. We know him as Uncle Ram. He's been writing for the Negro Manosphere, man, almost 2 years. He's my Thursday columnist, man. He's awesome. And you knew about Ron before I knew him, right?
Oh, yeah. I know Ron. Like, there was this group called blackwriters.org. He was part of that. This goes back to like the 80s.
Yeah. So shout out to Ron Wills. And then we have Anthony Brian Logan, Mr. 170,000 YouTube subscribers, but you won't let me borrow none, Negro. He won our NegroManosphere.com Political Channel of the Year award. Both of these guys won plaques. So I want to thank both of them for being here. Thank you, brothers, for supporting the chat. Rom, you got to give me an interview too, but you be bullshitting with me and all that. But I mean,
yeah, I got Rom. We're gonna do a show tomorrow.
Really?
Yeah.
Hold on, Rom. I can't never get a fucking show, and he can get a show tomorrow. It's because he got money. You know what, Rom? Got something for your ass, nigga. Okay. All right, shout out to Rom though, even though he be playing me and shit sometimes. That shit kind of hurt my feelings. But let me just do this real quick. You talked about again, for being reminded that you're black, because a lot of guys are so afraid to deal with. We have a twofold issue, I think. Number one, we have many of us, a low mindset of black people in doing business with each other. And again, I want to shout out to Rom because Rom he never talks at people, he talks to them. That's why he's so successful. So he's just like you. We don't see the benefit of doing like, business with black people or networking with black people, kind of like how we're doing right now. And then we are too afraid to sell to whites because we feel that we're going to be racist. They're not going to buy from me. The white man got his foot on my neck, which you've proven that that's not true. But let's talk about at certain times that while you forgot that you were black, you will be reminded of being black. So we can set the expectations that there are going to be times when you'll be reminded that you're black. So can you talk to me about that real quick?
Oh, yeah. Whenever I made a pivot on my channel, and this is when I changed my content or started doing something new, because at first it was just storage auctions, and then I put up a political video, and I had several, and I knew they were white, and that's like, look, Glendon, your resale information is awesome, but you need to stay in your lane. And my response was always vigorous and swift. Who the fuck are you to tell me what to put on my channel? You need to sit your ass down. Oh, I'm sorry. Because the thing is, most people online are fucking punks. Okay. They'll say some shit, and then when you come at them hard, I had one dude fucking crying because they think this shit's like playtime. The internet is very, very real. And part of that is like this thing with Trump. I am not a Trump supporter. I think he's the absolute worst president we've ever had. I also think this whole military base in Israel is just the ingredients to start a war. And people just like, well, why are you hating Trump all of a sudden? It's like, I've been hating his ass since day one. Okay. I thought he was unfit the day he came down that escalator talking about he was running for president. Where you been? And that was another reason. Right now on my channel, I would say 70-80% of my customers are black because I have come out on record and say I think Trump's a dumbass. I think he's bad for this country. He's a racist. He's a bigot. And he's giving people the permission to be overtly racist again. Okay. And they love it. And the thing is mostly poor, broke ass white people because they feel that this country was taken from them, but this country was never theirs, all theirs to begin with. And you get that because I have them coming after me, fact checking. And I'm like, no, because one of them like, well, didn't Obama agree to put this military base in Israel? I was like, no, Obama and Netanyahu, they didn't get along. Netanyahu hated Obama. That's why he likes Trump, because he can manipulate Trump with a little flattery. Obama wasn't going to put a base in Israel. Are you serious? Because, I'm a veteran of the Army, and Israel's always been at war. To put an American base, which is American soil, wherever we go, that instantly becomes American soil due to treaty agreements. So if one of those bombs for Iran or the Taliban or whatever hits that base, then we're involved in their shit. Okay. That's why every president, except for President Dumbass, has refused to do it. They're like, yeah, we're going to do this. Yeah. And they wouldn't do it because they knew the danger. But this fool, let's do it. Obama did it. Let me undo it. That's been his whole policy. And it's just, I fear, anyone that's thinking about joining the military, Air Force, Navy, don't join the Army, don't join the Marines, because I feel that we're going to be in another war. That's just, getting off topic, but
yeah, it's let me cut you off. But Anthony Brian Logan, man, when you was at first, do you know who Anthony Brian Logan is?
No.
Anthony Brian Logan is one of the biggest black conservative YouTubers on the platform.
Okay.
And so he's a big time Trump supporter. When you first was talking about everything else, he's like, oh man, he's preaching. And he's talking about Trump. He goes, a shame. So shout out to ABA. He has a huge following. He's always on here. Brandon Tatum. Have you heard of Brandon Tatum?
Oh, I actually didn't mention him by name, but I kind of talked about him because this is one of the reasons that so many black people are joining the conservative party. There's money over there. Yeah. You all right, let's this from the video. You can check it out, but what's the penalty for being a coon? You get talked about, made fun of. What's the penalty for being bed wench? You get made fun of and talked about. What's the reward for becoming a conservative? Hundreds of thousands of fucking dollars. So I could be over here and be talked about and made fun of, or I can go over here and make some money. The decision's so hard. I mean, in the future, you're going to see more and more black people go to the conservative party. You're going to see more. I've got like 6 of them, people I've known for 20 years who've been trying to get me in there because they know that I'm an entrepreneur and everything. But Trump's a dumbass, and Trump's going to lead us astray. I figure Trump has 18 to 24 months in office, if that.
Okay. So ABL. Okay, one day we'll have to, get you guys on the same panel if you have time. That'd be a pretty good network, because this base is, is very, very he's a really strong following. So shout out to you, my boy Brandon Tatum. They come over here all the time. I don't know if you've seen them before. Brandon Tatum is in ABL. They're here like almost damn near every day. So let me do this real quick. You also talked about shout out to Marcus Love for the super chat. He's right about war, so invest in GE. Let's talk about the knowing the business, right? And because this whole thing about how to fight, just in this my small little YouTube business, although there's not much overhead, there are things that do change with the site. There are things that change, and a lot of guys who have been raised, like you said, primarily by their mothers, they don't know how to really get through these tough times. And stuff like that. And sometimes the business, even if you do, you're really knowledgeable about it, about it, stuff like that, there are challenges that you don't know about. You talked about weathering the storm. Talk to me about that as it relates to being able to suffice yourself, because most businesses fail within the first 5 years. So talk to me about your experience with weathering the storm and being able to adjust on the fly when certain things change.
The first thing is you got to treat the storm as a problem. Let's say like about 5 years ago, I was using video footage from Storage Wars 5-6 years ago, right? And Storage Wars flagged my channel. I got 2 strikes within hours. One more strike, my channel would have been gone. YouTube changed the rules. So I had to come up with a response. So first of all, if you're a YouTuber and you get these strikes, it scares the shit out of you. So I was like, okay, what do I do? What do I do? So I took a deep breath, and that's okay. We got this problem. How do we solve this problem? So I just went ahead and hid all of the Storage Wars videos and was walking on eggshells for a week and nothing else happened. And then ultimately I deleted them. Whatever situation or challenge that's coming your way, it's normal to freak out. Like, I've been sued. Anyone that's been sued and you get served, you freak out because you got to go to court, and there's a bunch of unknowns. Okay. I actually tell you, the first time I got sued, it was by a credit card company for some stuff my ex-wife did. Okay. And I freaked out, and that's okay. Freaking out ain't gonna work. What do we need to do? So I went to the internet, went to credit forums, found some information. And if you ever get sued for anything, always file an answer. Don't ignore that, because they'll get a default judgment. So I go in there and I talk to the court. I'm all nervous and stuff. And I was like, well, I like to ask the defense this question. Are you licensed to practice credit collection in Georgia? And the judge was like, yeah, are you? And it's like, well, no. Well, if he's not licensed, then this case needs to be dismissed. And just like that, they had me. It was true. But because I learned the law, I was able to get out of it. And that made my confidence rise, because I was like, that stuff was true, because she let a car get repossessed and they came after me for what's called the difference. Mm-hmm. I was like, whoa. So I went back and I started to educate. So essentially, make your problems into, like, essentially, let's say your problem's an elephant, big old elephant, right?
Okay.
So you take the trunk off, you take the ears off, you take the mouth off, and you reduce the elephant to small, digestible pieces. And typically, you need to take a sheet of paper, write the problem at the top of the paper, and then start breaking it down into actionable steps. Because as long as it's this big elephant, you're overwhelmed, but you break it down in actionable steps. It's like, okay, I can do this, I can do this, and I can do this. That's typically my process for whenever something happens that doesn't expect. Take a deep breath, freak out for a moment. That's normal. And then get to work. So typically, you'll have people who have success, like YouTube. There was a lot of people on YouTube who had tremendous success, right? And they didn't know why. Then YouTube changed the game and people lost 85 and 95% of their income. So instead of digging in, they started whining and doing complaint videos and like, YouTube's unfair. And I was like, YouTube allows us on this platform. We're guests in their house.
Right.
It ain't our channels, it's their channels, and we're there at their leisure. So the rules change. Okay, move over here, do this, move over here, do this. But I never made my money from AdSense. I've always made my money from selling stuff since 2009. So that right there made a huge difference in the way that I approach this new problem. And anyone that has a problem, take a deep breath, shut the radio off, shut the television off, go in the quiet room and just think about it and calm down and start breaking it down into actionable pieces.
Okay, let me now speaking of, shout out to my man Ekantunde Nation. He just said, and I was subscribed to the channel. He says, Shay, be careful. They just took my channel down, dog. 4 million views, 11,000 subs. Donovan Sharp, you know who that is, right? Donovan Sharp?
Yeah, I know him.
He just had his secondary channel taken down in like today. So they're really hitting a lot of male channels. Even my main channel had 2 strikes on it. So they're just coming after all of us right now for whatever. I don't know who's doing it, but they're hitting like a lot of people are. Go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me give you a little tips. A lot of people do YouTube and don't know all the rules. Like, okay, when I did my video this morning, I didn't mention any names.
Okay.
Like, this is what I learned. One of my haters who had the video, they had titled the video with my name, Glendon Cameron, and they had mentioned my name and they used my image. All that stuff is copyright infringement. You see a lot of it on YouTube because no one reports it. But if you did a video and you use my name in the title and it wasn't like, I could go ahead and challenge that and have that shit brought down. Or if you use one of my videos without my permission and I didn't like it, I can have that video taken down. So I don't know what Donovan channel had, but a lot of times I see that people will use a video from another channel to do like a diss video or something like that. If that person who has that channel gets a case of the ass or gets wise on YouTube, they can have that channel, the video brought down, and that's going to give you 1 copyright strike. And all you know is you need 3.
Yeah.
So don't use like music. They've changed music, but don't use anyone's name. Don't use anyone's videos without permission, stuff like that. Because typically, I know on my main channel, I get flagged a lot, but I never mention names. I never get into any of these silly ass YouTube beefs. That's just a quick way to get your channel deleted today in this current climate. Once again, 2013, 2012, 11, they didn't care. 2013, they started to care. 2016, they started to care a lot. 2018, you ever been to Vegas, the old Vegas?
Not the old Vegas, but
okay. Well, old Vegas, old New York's Times Square. That was the old YouTube. Now they're trying to turn it into new Vegas and New York Times Square. Clean it up, make it family friendly. So if you're having controversial issues, and essentially it's these beefs that really get people in trouble, or like I said, I listened to BGS. I didn't really see anything wrong with it, but it could be misconstrued as hate speech because he was very forceful with his delivery, even though it wasn't hate speech. And if enough people flag that video with the tag hate speech, I don't know what it is. I don't know how many it takes, but that could be the reason it got taken down. Okay.
Let me also shout out to Brother Calvin Stevens out of the Louisiana area. Thank you for the $20 super chat. We have 273 people now watching right now. How much longer do we have, Glendon?
Oh man, I gotta do a stream at 5, so not too much longer.
Not too much longer. Okay,
but I'll be back. I'll be back. We can make this like a once a month thing.
Okay, you got about 20 more minutes at least.
Really like 5.
5. All right. Yeah. So guys, we got about 5 minutes left. Okay, so let's just let you close it out. And guys, I'm supposed to have Al Grease later on the night. We're going to do the Brazil debate. So go ahead and just whatever you need to say for the next 5 minutes, bro. As far as what you offer or what you want to talk about, or
essentially I would do this. If you are a black man that you want to start a business, get started right now. Do not wait until you get everything shaped up. That's an excuse. That's just cowardly way out, because that's going to prevent you from doing action. Take whatever you want to do. You want to own a trucking company. Ask yourself, what's the first thing I need to do? Then go online and research it. Then take that step, because I had someone who was like talking about starting a trucking company, and I challenged him. I actually called him a scared little bitch. And within a week, he got all the paperwork for his authority. And he had been talking about this shit for 6 years.
Okay.
1 week, he got it done because it became real.
Right.
A lot of you can do bigger and better things. You can have wonderful and fantastic lives if you would just take action. Just take action. You know, that's the key in game, business, life, whatever. Taking action, that's going to separate you from everyone else. Because the more action points you take, even if you fail, you're going to develop this knowledge base. And sometimes, like, the data points won't connect up, but you're going to fail enough that you're going to start to see trends. You're going to start to see how things are coming to you. And that's just going to take you getting off your ass and getting busy. That's the best advice I have. And, you know, if you want to buy anything, just go to my channel. There's a 50% off special under every video. Well, the last 5. And there's 50% off of everything at Hustlers Kung Fu. If you spend $350 or more, I'm going to put you on the first tier of Disruptive Mail. That's all I got.
All right. And guys, let me just do this real quick, right? Glendon the other day, and he didn't have to do this. I just want to say, I was telling guys to go to the Patreon for the more exclusive content. Glendon came by and became the highest Patreon supporter at $100 a month. There's like him, Man Tomorrow, a few other guys. Man Tomorrow's a millionaire guy too. And he didn't have to do that, right? And the last time he came, he sold a lot of great products. You know, so this is a guy that we really need in our Black male community. I work really hard in building these this kind of Black male market with connecting people, stuff like that. So guys like Glendon can come, you know, over here and use his expertise, and we can support our brother, right? Because a guy like Glendon, we should be buying his shit. Okay, we should be supporting him. Okay, there's no excuse why we don't have we have a guy with this much talent and this much knowledge that we need to be listening to, you know, and he needs to be our go-to guy for a fact. Guys like Man of Tomorrow, guys like Glendon, guys like Ghana Dan. You know, these are the guys who are going to take, you know, can help us do things that, you know, it's resources that we haven't been able to access before. So I want to personally thank him for coming on, Ron Will, stuff like that. Glendon, you just let me know when you need to come back on. You can come on whenever the fuck you get ready. Your home is my home. Just let me know, brother. And the brothers always appreciate you guys. Go to his channel, website, buy some stuff. A lot of brothers bought his products, so we're very pleased with it. So continue to do that. Anything else you want to say?
Oh no, that's it, man. That's just, you got to get busy. You have to take action, because there's so many people who want to do something and they haven't even taken the first step. Because, you know, whenever I bring on consulting clients, I drill them. I'm like in their face, and frequently everyone is scared of failure. And I've been rejected enough in life that doesn't faze me. You know, I'm not saying you're going to be like me anytime soon, but when you have someone slam the door on you and have security escort you out the building because you were so aggressive, I'll tell that story later. But that's how hard I went in as a salesperson. I would have an ass buildings that had signs like no soliciting. I was like, fuck that. I didn't see that sign. And I would just do it. You got to be, you know what? You can't ask for permission. I think this old saying, I'd rather ask for forgiveness than permission. And that's the way I roll.
All right. So guys, again, thanks again so much, Glendon, for coming by, brothers. And, you know, I'm going to try to post, I have to edit the other video and post both of them to both channels. So guys, we had almost 300 people watching today at one time, at this time of day. That's fucking awesome. So we'll be back tonight. Thanks again to Glendon. And then, like I said, whenever you want to come back, we'll definitely have you back, brothers. Anything else you need to say?
Oh, no, that's it. Well, like I said, we'll probably do it around the same time next month. I can do once a month.
Just let me know, man. Peace out.
Man. All right. Catch you later.